Thanks for tuning in to the very first episode of the Ordinary Voices podcast. Um, yeah, this is a really cool person that I got to do this with, one of my best friends, Hunter. I chose him because it allows me to get a little bit more comfortable on a mic and in front of a camera. And I just also really think what he did with his career so far is really, really cool. And I'm a really big fan of what he has done. So yeah, we'll talk about all his experiences and getting into his career in sales and um, where he sees himself in the future. But I definitely appreciate you guys coming in and checking this out. I'm really hoping to build this thing into something that's kind of fun for a lot of people, not just myself. So that's the goal, anyways. The long term goal. Short term is just make videos and try to get better each time, or make episodes and try to get better each time. And yeah, stay through all the way to the end to listen to a pretty cool conversation between two really good friends. And leave a like, comment, um, subscribe to the YouTube, follow the podcast on Spotify, or follow on Instagram for updates and all that good stuff. But yeah, really appreciate you stopping by. Mr. Whitaker,
Hello, Kobe.
what's up?
Not much.
You work
Not
today?
much. I did, yeah. I
Yeah.
did.
Make some sales.
Got some stuff working.
Yeah.
So nothing
Do
official.
do people typically do they come in on weekends, or is it mostly like admin work on Saturdays?
Uh Both. Usually Saturdays can be pretty busy, especially in the summer and when it's warmer out. But yeah, usually in the morning I try to just catch up on computer work and stuff, and then usually like mid morning on is pretty busy. So
Okay. Cool.
was
Okay.
kind
Well,
of chill today though.
we can talk more about what you do for your occupation shortly.
Yes.
But cool. This works. Take two. The first one wasn't bad, but I think our setup's a little bit
Had some
better this
audio
time.
issues.
Yeah, audio issues. I was in a closet. Um, this time I'm sitting on the bedroom floor, which is a little better. Um,
A little comfier,
yeah, a little comfier, but yeah, appreciate you doing take two with me.
of course.
Um, yeah, you're doing stuff later. You're hanging with some friends. What do you got going on this weekend?
Um, Gonna go have a fire at a buddy's house and some dinner, and then go play gray balls tomorrow with Mr. Michelson.
Mm, mm. I think I think someone just needs to follow you guys with a camera so I can watch that because I haven't seen Kyle play in a couple of years now, but last time when he played, it was just it was a show.
It's a show.
It was a good time. At this point, he's better than me. I unfortunately am the worst golfer in the group of us, which is so
You haven't golfed
painful.
in a long time though,
Been
probably.
2 years at least, but
Yeah.
it's so painful for me to say that I'm the worst golfer. Um, but I definitely am the worst golfer. But okay, cool. Yeah. We didn't really do a whole lot, honestly. Uh, Hosted Maddie's brother. So I guess we
Yeah.
were kind of busy. We went to a baseball game yesterday.
Is it like a
Um,
minor league game?
no, it was D1, like the regional tournament,
Oh,
start of the regional
like
tournament. So it was,
University of Texas.
yeah, it was their stadium, which is like a couple minutes down the road from us, but it
Hmm.
was University of Texas, San Antonio versus Kansas State.
Oh,
So
gotcha.
we did that, and then yeah, just did some
Nice.
other stuff. So cool. Okay. Well, there definitely will be some people from Marquette that try to watch this, but for people who don't know who you are, um, just give like a little explanation, who you are, how we know each other, what you do for work, hobbies. I don't know. Any of that good stuff doesn't have to be long, but just a little intro.
Yeah. Yeah. So from Marquette, obviously we grew up pretty much our whole lives together. Parents were very good friends, and obviously we've been like best friends since I don't know what, kindergarten, first
I could
grade.
walk. Yeah.
Yeah. um, and yeah, so work in auto sales at Fox Marquette Ford Subaru. Um, like, I mean, grew up playing hockey together. Still play a little beer league here and there.
Yes, you do.
Yeah. Big golfer in the summer. So
Yep. That's a
usually,
newer hobby for you as of the last couple of years.
yeah. What I've been golfing for probably like 5 years now, but
Yep.
like seriously golfing for like probably 3 or 4, no, probably 6 years ago, I got into golf, and then like seriously
I would,
golfing over the last like 3 or 4 years.
yeah, I was gonna say probably like 3 years. I feel like you picked it up like relatively seriously where you started buying some gadgets and stuff. But
Yeah.
cool. So you
Yeah.
said you're in sales. That's pretty much what we're gonna talk about today. How you got into sales. I don't know, like future aspirations if you're gonna stay in sales, all that good stuff. But yeah, how long have you been doing auto sales? Um, I know like you've bounced around a little bit at like different locations or different companies and stuff, but just talk about that a little bit.
Yeah. So I've been in sales now coming up on my fourth year. I've been at our Ford Subaru store that I'm at now for 2.5 years now. And then I was in sales at our Chevy store for about a year. Our Marquette, Fox Marquette Chevy store.
That's where you sold me my car,
That sure is.
my
Sure
Honda at
is.
the Chevy store.
It's pre-owned.
2016, 8,000 miles, baby. Just broke 50,000 miles this year.
Really?
Yeah,
That's
I don't
insane.
I don't get that much on it, but yeah. So you've been in sales for yeah 4 years. Definitely got some experience under your belt. Um, why don't we talk about like how you got there? Like for me, the whole thing of like bringing you on, I think obviously as a friend, I think what you do is really cool and how you got there. But I think also just for people who are questioning getting a 4 year degree, um, I think they should appreciate this. Like you don't have a 4 year degree. You started school, but yeah. So like, let's start high school. We've talked about it a little bit, but did you see yourself going into sales as a senior in high school, or what was like your original plan? Yeah, from graduating high school and starting at Northern Michigan.
Yeah, I mean, it's always been something I've kind of been interested in. I mean, my dad works in sales, and
John
my
Deere.
yeah, so it's always like kind of been something I've been around and like had an interest in. But was definitely not my plan in high school. Like we've talked about, like my kind of original plan coming out of high school was engineering,
Yep.
civil engineering, and then um, coming into college and yeah, coming into college, kind of decided to change paths, and I wasn't really necessarily like thinking sales at that time. It was just kind of like something business related. Was kind of the route I was thinking, and then sales just kind of happened to fall into my lap. So,
So it was
like I
like,
said, it's always kind of been something I've been around, been interested in.
yeah.
Um,
So it was like a semester and a half that you got through. Then realized that you wanted to go a different avenue. Well, when was like the point that for you, I guess as like a student at that point, when was the point where you thought, maybe this isn't for me? And then like follow up question to that, because that's a big decision. Like most people just go to school and get the degree. Like that's you could say the normal thing to do. Not that that's the right thing to do, but that's you could say normal thing to do. So when did
Hmm.
you get to the point where you're like, I don't know if I want to do this? And then you kind of just like took a risk and counted on yourself to figure that out. When would you say you kind of hit that point?
Yeah, so I was kind of looking at like transferring schools because I didn't really plan to go to Northern for 4 years. Like I just
Yeah.
wanted to go
Was it
there
Michigan
and
State? Is that where you wanted to transfer?
I mean I definitely would have transferred there. I was looking at Coastal Carolina,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
somewhere warm. Sounded cool.
Warm with a boat.
Yeah. um so that was kind of where I was looking, and then found out that Northern's very difficult to transfer out of. Um, so basically would have had to like redo everything that I'd already done as far as like gen eds and stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, I'm not doing that and paying out of state tuition. I think it was like, I want to say it was like 14,000 a year or 14,000 a semester for out of state tuition there.
At Coastal
Um,
Carolina.
yeah.
Yeah. That
Um,
makes sense. I mean, ASU for a 10-month master's was like out of state was like 52,000.
geez. Yeah. I don't, yeah, that's not surprising.
Yeah.
um, so yeah, then at that point I was like, all right, well, um, if that's not gonna work, then, and at that point too, like when I was looking at transferring, I had already kind of like decided engineering wasn't really the route I wanted to go. It was more like
Yeah.
um, business, marketing, like something like that was kind of what I was thinking. So yeah, once that kind of fell through, I guess you could say, I was already working our at our Fox Marquette Chevy store at that time. So they had offered me a sales position, and I didn't take it originally because I was planning on, you know,
Doing school.
transferring. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then when that fell through, I took that position, and
Actually, I didn't know. I don't think I knew that they offered it to you originally and you said no.
yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say it was like a formal kind of thing. Like it was just like
No, it sounds like
the
they were begging. They were like, we need you. We want you.
definitely was not the case, but
Come sell Honda HRVs
just
to
yeah,
young guys
had good
and get
relationships with my managers there, and they liked, I don't know, I guess liked me and liked my attitude and everything. So
yeah,
asked me
you're
if
a
it was
cute
something I'd
guy.
be interested in.
You're a likable guy. I understand where they're coming from.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you convinced me to buy a car from you, so
No, I had
um
to convince Scott's clipboard.
no, yeah. My dad kind of hustled you to save a couple bucks for me. My dad, make it easy. It's literally Hunter. He's getting commission for my car. Like I don't mind paying him. He's like, no, you gotta get the best deal. He's like, Hunter, what can you do for him? I don't know if we save that much, but I appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure.
I appreciate it. Cool. So yeah, thought about transferring, realized that was kind of difficult. Um, and then yeah, decided that it was probably best to pivot in the sales. Not that it like landed in your lap, but like you didn't have to reach out and like try to figure out that next step. It kind of worked out that it was there for you
Yeah.
already. And
Yeah, it
then
wasn't like I, yeah, just like completely like, you know, like dropped I guess I don't know what the best way to say it is, but like yeah, it was already like kind of a thing I had in my back pocket, I guess you could
yeah.
say.
Yeah, like you didn't say I don't really want to go to school anymore at this semester or whatever and just have no plan where you're
Yeah, yeah,
like
exactly.
drowning basically. You're living with Lori and Jason and you're like, yeah, I'm just gonna chill for the summer. Uh no, you had a plan. So cool.
Right.
Do you think that like you've been sales now for 4 years or yeah, it is 4 years or it's going on 4 years? Is it over four
Well,
years?
I've been in car sales, I guess, for almost 4 years. I had like a 7 month break in car sales when I took a different position
Yeah.
that I was recruited for to do sales and or heavy equipment sales and finance. um, and just ended up not really liking that. So went
Yeah.
back to car sales. So
Have you
yeah.
ever have you ever gotten to the point where like I feel like probably not recently because you're doing really well, but like early on, did you ever feel like, oh, maybe I should have continued school?
Um, Not really, because like I'm not saying I'm like the best salesman ever, but like it kind of came naturally to me.
I'm not
Like
saying that I'm like really good or anything, but I mean, yeah,
no, like it
naturally, I know how to sell a car.
like I said, like I have always, or my dad has done sales like since I've been born and since before I've been born. So like always just kind of grew up in that and have just always been good with working with people of kind of all walks of life. So
Did Jason
um
ever do like like you like bring your parent to school and it's like career day or whatever? Who came? Did we ever have that first off? Maybe in like
not that I remember, no.
I don't actually remember that either.
I don't remember ever
But
having anything like
would
that.
you have asked Jason or Glorious Lori to do it?
Probably my dad. I feel like his
Yeah.
job is definitely far more interesting than my
He could
mom's
have
was.
showed up with like a big rig in elementary
Yeah,
school.
yeah, probably would have been pretty sweet.
Cool. Yeah. I would have loved to see that. I don't
Yeah,
know who I would have taken. Probably my dad. Scotty Boy G is just
Scotty Boy G.
like you just gotta. You have to.
You have to.
Okay. Yeah. So no regrets. No regrets on the school thing. And like yeah, I'm like your biggest fan about it. I think what you're doing is sweet. And I tell people all the time, you don't have to go to school and get a degree to like be successful or do something for yourself. Now, ironically, I went to school for 5 years after high school and have two degrees, but
Yeah, but
like
your field's kind of needed.
yeah, like
Like,
I have to do it for accounting. I
right.
can't show
Yeah.
up with no
I'm
degree and be
definitely
like,
not saying I'm an advocate of like, yeah, going to college is the dumbest thing ever. But
yeah,
like for it just depends what you want to do. I mean, there's a
exactly.
lot of stuff like, I mean, I don't remember like what's the stat, you probably know it, of like people that graduate with a degree and get
Oh,
a
for some
job
reason,
like,
I've been seeing that a lot
yeah,
too.
I saw it not too long ago, and it's like a stupid high percentage of like people that go to school
Yeah,
get a degree and then
it's
like
either we'll do that because I've it's either 10% or 20% that I've seen of people who graduate and actually like work
with their
like have a
degree.
career in the field that they got a degree in. It's like
Right.
10 or 20%. So yeah, like you know, roughly 85% of people who go to school and get a degree, they don't even end up working long term in the field that they got their degree in. So,
Right.
and
Yeah. I
then
mean, like it's, yeah, you go to college at 18 years old, like, you know, thinking like your whole life plan, but like you have so much life ahead of you before that,
exactly, exactly. I
So,
mean, and then like we talked before this, the one stat that I did research on is like 4 year degree on average, people go into debt of like $37,000 or something like that. I don't remember if that's for
yeah, I
the
think
whole the whole
that sounds
degree.
right.
But yeah, it's like 37,000. So I mean, you saved yourself 37,000 in student debt,
Mhm.
and just bought a truck instead. Um,
Well, several since then.
let's be accurate here. It's been several, but like you're doing well. So and you also work in auto sales, so treat yourself to a truck every now and then.
Yeah, employee pricing is kind of cool.
Yeah, I'm content with my Honda, but to each their own.
For sure.
Um, yeah. So I mean, we've talked about your path. What would you say to 17-year-old, 18-year-old who is graduating high school, or maybe like a first semester college student who's contemplating doing a different avenue than getting that 4 year degree or an associate's or something like that? What would you say to them if they came to you and asked you for advice?
Yeah, I mean, I think if the old cliche of like, finding something you're passionate about and you won't work a day in your life, but it's kind of true in some ways. Like if you are passionate about doing something, like not saying I'm like passionate about auto sales, like that's been like my whole thing,
Yeah.
but like just working with people and things like that is what I really enjoy about it. So meeting like all walks of life, like I kind of said. So that's one thing I love about it. But yeah, just whatever it is you're passionate about and chasing it and grinding and doing what you got to do to be successful in it. I mean,
Yeah.
in today's world, you can make almost anything successful. So,
Yeah.
like,
You
if
can
you're
literally like record yourself and put it on Instagram of
correct, yeah,
like shoving your face in cold water with ice cubes and
yeah,
somehow that goes
and get
viral or being
15
8 year
million
old.
views, and then you have sponsorships and stuff.
Yeah.
So,
Have you seen the little Italian boy who he's like, I'm not gonna pretend that I can do an Italian accent, but he's like went down to the deli the other day and I asked for mozzarella on my sandwich or something like that. Or the the guy at the counter asked me if I wanted mozzarella on my sandwich and he's like freaked out. He's like, it's not mozzarella, it's mozzarella. And
I
he's like
don't know if
eight
I
years
have seen
old.
that.
Yeah, he's like 8 years old and he's making a name for himself. He's gonna be like a millionaire by age 10.
Yeah, yeah,
So like, yeah, you can be successful.
in literally anything.
Yeah. Especially like right now. I feel like 10 years ago, whatever was happening in 2015, like I feel like
Yeah,
it was
like
just,
social media marketing wasn't like as big of a thing.
yeah,
I think
yeah,
it's more of like, I mean, it was definitely popular in like later 2010s, but like I feel like since COVID, it's just like absolutely exploded.
yeah, like people, ad agencies and all these things. You can literally
Right.
do whatever you want. So no, I 100% agree. I would probably say something similar to someone like just do what makes you happy. Like if you don't need a lot of money to be happy, you don't need a lot of money to be happy. If you need a decent amount of money to like, like whatever those benchmarks are, if you need a little bit of money to do things that you want that make you happy, like figure out a way to do that, then
Right.
it's kind of what I would tell people. But
For sure.
um yeah, last couple things. So you kind of said it and then it kind of led right to my next question. So talking about like being passionate about things, you said it. It's not necessarily that you're overly passionate about sales, but it's like, the people and you get to build really cool connections and honestly probably hear a lot of cool stories and stuff too. Where do you see yourself in 5 years or 10 years? Like, do you plan on staying in sales? I think I know the answer to that, but for people who have made it this far and are still interested, um, whoever that is, uh, who like, yeah, where do you
Thanks,
see yourself
Trish.
in 5 to 10 years? Yeah, that's probably just my mom.
um, yeah, I mean, I definitely think like what I'm doing right now is like as far as like being in auto sales is not something that I'll be doing when I'm like 50 years old, or
Yeah.
45 or whatever. Like um, I definitely love it for now, and it's awesome because that's one thing I love about sales is like it rewards hard work very
Hmm.
quickly. Like there's like you are rewarded for how much work you put into it. So um, definitely like enjoy sales. Would probably want to be in some sort of like management role or senior management role. Coming up in that 5 to 10 year future is definitely something
Do
I'd
like for a sales team.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like that's one thing I like about the company I'm with now is they are very big on like promoting from within as far as like sending people to management school and whatnot. So yeah, there's definitely a couple different like bigger management roles in the company I'm with now that I would like to be in at some point in my career.
Cool. Yeah, I know we've talked about a lot of things, but Yeah, that's good to know. We'll start our business, whatever that's going to be at some point.
Yeah, we've talked about that for what, like
We
probably
could open a putt
10
putt
years
course.
now.
Yeah, for a long time. We could open a putt putt course.
We could.
Yep. Just came out with that on the spot, but
Yeah.
be fun. Be a good time.
I don't know the first thing about running a putt course, but
Nope. Nope. I would make Kyle be the test subject for all the holes too.
uh,
I just want a bunch of clips of me saying Kyle's name so he's forced to watch. He messaged me yesterday. Um he's like, I listened to the clip that you put on Instagram. He's like, do you want me to bring a mic to Hunter so you can hear him better? Like, no, it's fine. He has a
his
mic.
PC, right?
Yeah, he has gaming mic, which
Yeah,
that's what this is. I bought this mic just for this podcast. So
yeah. Podcast is about net $200 right now.
no,
Negative 200.
no. It's $85.
Okay,
I'll have a
it's not
net
too
loss
bad.
of $85, pending no other
I mean,
expenses.
maybe Joe
2025 will
Rogan
be
will
in a
see
loss.
this. Maybe Joe Rogan will see this and then just blow up overnight.
Yeah, no, maybe maybe my good friend at Fox Subaru um wants to tell his customers that he was on a podcast recently, and for each car sale I get one view.
Yeah,
So the more cars you sell, the better
I'll
my
uh,
podcast does.
I'll put a link to it on my business cards from here on out.
Do you have a
Or
virtual
QR
business
code.
card?
I don't, but I actually was thinking about making one. I just
Mm,
haven't. I Yeah, just haven't done that yet.
mm. All right, Mr. Whitaker. Well, I do appreciate you meeting with me on this Saturday afternoon before your bonfire.
Of
Um,
course.
huh? You say
I
of
said, of
course?
course. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I really do appreciate it. We tried earlier this week.
I
It'll
had some
just that,
issues.
yeah,
A
that was the test run.
little clunky.
Yeah, that was the breakfast ball.
Yeah.
So,
Need,
all right.
need one of those off the first tee.
Yeah. Yeah. But appreciate it. And yeah, talk to you later.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Oh, we crushed that, Gunter.
Yes, sir. Oh, whoa.